What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you happen to be tuning in. And today's video is a little special extra video. I basically wanted to sit down and talk you guys through everything that you need to pack for your bodybuilding shows. As we all know, I'm competing soon. It is soon, and so I have started the process of gathering everything that I need and just making sure that I have everything ready to go. And I thought it would be cool to just sit down and basically go through everything so that you guys know, if you're getting ready for your own shows this year, what you need to have, because there is a lot of shit that you might not think about that you are going to need for your show days or for your travel around your show days. Obviously, I am doing all international shows. So for all of my shows, I'm going to be flying to places that I am going. So because of that, there's a lot of extra shit that I need. And, you know, for a lot of you guys, you might be traveling a few hours, or you might be actually flying as well, whether it's to shows in different countries or even just further away in your own country. And yeah, I just thought it would be kind of cool to see what a bodybuilder packs and what a bodybuilder needs. And hopefully it will give you guys some help, some tips. But of course, guys, before we do get stuck into the video, as always, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a like, give the video a comment. Let me know if there's anything that you guys do want to see. But before we get stuck into the packing side of things and everything that you're going to need for your shows, I do actually just want to start by talking about skin prep, because I think this is something that a lot of people overlook, but it can actually make a huge difference to how you look on show day. I'm sure you're aware, when you're competing in bodybuilding, you're getting tanned, right? Like, we stand on stage with a very dark spray tan on to make our muscles look more defined and to make us look leaner and to make sure that we don't look super washed out under the stage lights. But depending on what you do leading up to the show, that tan is going to come out looking very different. And if you take your skin prep seriously, your tan will be flawless. And trust me when I say it can make a difference to how you look and how you are then judged on the day. If someone gets up on stage and their tan is just perfect, your eye is going to be drawn to them. Whereas if someone's on stage and their tan is very patchy, or their skin looks scaly, or it's really pale in comparison to everybody else, it's not a good look, right? And this is something that is so in your control. Like, so much of what happens on show day is out of your control in terms of who shows up, what the judges want, but what you do before your show to make sure your skin is ready, that does matter. So what do we need to pay attention to when it comes to prepping your skin? So the first thing I will say, and this is something that I'm doing this year that is quite different to my last season, is I use melanotan. So melanotan is a peptide that you can inject, and it basically helps you get a tan, right? I will flash some pictures up on the screen of what my natural skin color is, and it's safe to say it is white as a fucking sheet. I am pale Irish through and through. And the fact that I now walk around with a natural tan like this should probably tell you how effective it is. Now, melanotan is a drug. I'm not saying that you should be using a drug. I'm not necessarily advising it. I'm just letting you know what I do, right? If you are someone who can naturally get a tan, I would recommend trying to build up your base tan before stage. The reason for this is, when you are super, super pale, you need a lot of coats of tan to make you dark enough compared to other athletes. Now, the more layers and layers and layers of that tan goes on, in my experience, it makes you look very muddy. I felt like I just looked very ashy and muddy in my last shows, which is why I've been kind of doing this so much. So for me, obviously I live in Spain, so I'm very lucky. I can just go outside and get a tan during the day. I'll lie out in the sun for half an hour to an hour every few days. And when it comes to my injection frequency of melanotan, I am doing it basically every 2 days at the moment, which will be more frequent than normal, but that's just so that I can build it up. You could use sunbeds. Again, I understand that there's controversy. I understand that they're not good for you. I'm not advising that you use sunbeds. I'm just saying that that is something that you could potentially think about doing if you don't live somewhere sunny, just so that you do have a bit of a base color prior to getting your tan. Again, you don't have to do this. It's just something that I feel would make a little bit of a difference. And I know a lot of bodybuilders who do that as well. So that's the kind of working on your base tan side of things. But when it comes to the actual skin prep, this is something that you want to start about 2 to 3 weeks out from your show. Okay, so the first thing that we want to make sure we are doing is exfoliating. So this is the Protan Get Buffed Exfoliator. this or the Cocoa Brown Tough Stuff, which Cocoa Brown is an Irish brand, but you can buy it everywhere. These are just really good, heavy duty exfoliators that are going to get all of the dead skin off of your body, right? Because think about it, if you have dead, dry skin, that tan is going to gather, it's not going to look good. So you want your skin to be as exfoliated as possible. And if you start this about 2 weeks out, 2 or 3 weeks out, it gives you plenty of time to, you know, you're not going to have to like annihilate your skin. Like you can do it just kind of every single evening, just nice and gently. I use an exfoliating glove, and when I'm in the shower every night, you know, for the past few weeks really, I just exfoliate all over my body, and that's just going to help to prep my skin to make sure it's nice and smooth. I would also use this after your shows to get your tan off, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more in a second. But this is really good for helping to get rid of any old excess tan if you're doing back-to-back shows or shows that are like 2 weeks apart and you need to make sure you get that tan off pretty quickly. So this is a really good product. I've used it loads, and that's the first thing that you want to do is make sure you're exfoliating. Next thing you want to make sure you're doing is moisturizing. Honestly, like, I mean, really, we should be moisturizing every fucking day, but from at least, I would say like 4 weeks out, moisturize your skin every single day with a non-scented moisturizer, okay? You don't want to go for your tan with lots of scented stuff on it, with lots of scented stuff on your skin, because it might react with the tan. So we basically want to keep the kind of chemical load on our skin as low as possible. So for me, I would always just recommend using E45 moisturizer. This is just like the lotion. Again, if you're really, really dry, you might want the thicker cream. For me, the lotion is absolutely fine. So I will do that every single evening after I exfoliate. And then body wash. So from 2 weeks out of my show, listen, I love a nice, pretty scented coconut, whatever body wash as much as the next gal. But again, we want to minimize how many chemicals are on our skin. So something like Sanex, which is just like a 0%, nothing, like there's nothing in this. It's just like a very simple body wash. This is what you want to be using in the shower. So whether you're showering once or twice a day, obviously that depends on how much cardio steps and training you're doing. This is what I would be washing your body with from about 2 weeks out and throughout your entire comp season. Don't be using those like heavily scented body washes or moisturizers. Again, I know they're lovely. I know we love our fucking whatever Body Shop. I don't know any other brands. I can't think of any. Rituals. I have a nice Rituals moisturizer, but I stopped using that. And like any of those body washes. So the Sanex is always a good option. So from 2 weeks out, these are what we want to be using. From about 4 weeks out, I would be using this. I mean, really, you should be moisturizing every day, but this particular one. And then when it comes to getting your tan off after shows, so for anyone who is doing back-to-back shows, as soon as you get off stage, that night, you need to start getting that tan off. Because if you try and apply a new layer of tan the following week and you still have other bits of tan underneath, it's not going to look good. I know it can be tempting to leave the tan on because it looks good, right? And you want to like enjoy having that tan on, but at the end of the day, it's going to affect how you look at the next show. So as soon as you get off stage, as soon as you get back to your hotel room or wherever you're staying, shower off the top coat of tan. And then this product is an absolute game changer. So this is called the Rose and Caramel Purity XL 60-second tan remover. I used this in my last season, and this shit, it's like, I don't know, it's like bleach. It will get like, because the tan, the show tan, it's so dark, it can really stick to you. It can be really difficult to get off. But putting this on, you basically just like put it all over your body. Yeah, you put it all over your body, leave it for a minute or two, and then just scrub it away. And what I would do is combine these. So put this on your body, leave it for a minute or two, and then with a exfoliating glove and the Get Buffed, just start getting that off, because you need to get it off ASAP. And this will just help, because you're not going to have to like again, annihilate your skin, because your skin's really sensitive at that point. So it just means it's a bit less of a corrosive way of getting tan off. So I've bought like 3 or 4 tubs of this. You can get this in Boots, and you can also get this on Compact. So just really handy to have this. So I have one in my bag for after my shows to start getting that off. And then I just want to talk about hair removal, because as I'm sure you guys know, or maybe you don't, before you get your tan for stage, you need to be hairless as a newborn baby. Some newborn babies are not that hairless. As hairless as a hairless cat. You need to be slippy. You need to be like a dolphin, right? We don't want any hair on our body, and that goes for like all of it, like even the little blondie hairs, like on your torso, everything. You want to be getting rid of all of it. So for hair removal, this is kind of what I do. So I will do Veet all over my body, right? Leave it take everything off, and then I will also go in with a razor. So this me and Shane heard about this from John Jewett, who's an Olympian. He was talking about this Philips One Blade, and he uses this to just shave his entire body. So we bought a few, and they're honestly really, really good. Like, I just use this for general hair removal, but it's really like fine blade. It gets absolutely everything off. It's not very like corrosive or anything like that. So what I will do is probably 2 days before I get my tan, I'll do the Veet, and then the night before I get my tan, I will do the One Blade, just so that gives my body some time to heal. And then right before you go for your tan, you just need to make sure that you take a shower, don't put on any deodorant, any moisturizer. You're gonna stink for like 2 days. Like, honestly, one of the best things about stepping off stage is deodorizing yourself. I have seen Pro Tan have a product that is like a deodorant thing, like roll-on you can put on. I don't have it. I wish I did, because yeah, you'd be stanking, but everybody's stanking, so you know, it's all fine. So that is skin prep 101 for your shows, so that your skin and your tan is going to be flawless, immaculate. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention about the Milano tan, just in case anybody is wondering, I use the injectables. You can get the nasal sprays. I don't like them. They didn't work for me, and I buy it from Biolab. Okay, so next, let's talk about what to pack for show day. So the first thing I just wanted to mention is, when it comes to show day and the bag that you bring with you, always bring, it would help if I closed mine. So you want a wheelie suitcase, right? You do not want a bag on your back, because if you put a bag on your back and you have tan, it's going to dig into the tan and it's going to mess it up. So make sure, if you don't have a person who can carry all your stuff for you, have a wheelie bag and just have everything in there. Obviously I don't have all my stuff in this right now because I'm flying to my show, so everything is in a huge suitcase, which I'm sure you can kind of see here. So I'm just going to go through the suitcase and I'm just going to chat about everything that I'm packing and that you could potentially need. I think I have pretty much everything, but if I forget, well, hopefully I don't. I recommend, if you're looking for a list, Compact, if you go onto the Compact website, they're like a company that sells like shoes, jewelry and everything like that. They have a show day list. So I would recommend go on that, download it, have it on your phone, take it off as you're packing. So first I'm just going to talk about clothing and bedding. So the first thing that I've packed, super simple, is just a black tracksuit and black hoodie. And I will also pack black t-shirts for after I get my tan and for walking around on show day. You want something that's like loose and baggy. You don't want something that's going to dig into you. To be fair, all of my clothes right now are loose and baggy because I'm so much smaller than I was when I bought these, but you just want things that are not going to dig into you. Potentially you could get a tracksuit that doesn't have cuffs. I may bring one of my I have a grey tracksuit that's like flared, even though the grey, it will still pick up the tan. I don't really mind too much, but you just want something loose and something black because that tan is going to get fucking everywhere. Okay. Speaking of tan getting everywhere, you want to make sure, or actually no, before I talk about that, I will talk, I do have some t-shirts. I did pack some t-shirts, black t-shirts. There we go. So next thing I've packed is black silk pajamas for after I get my tan the night before my show. So I just got these from Amazon. I just typed in black silk pajamas, right? Again, you could get like, I think there's a brand, it's called like a bronzy, and it's basically just like a black onesie. That sounds really hot to me. I get too hot at night, so I would rather have something that's kind of light. So I have my black silk pajamas for that. And then speaking of at night, I also have black bed sheets. So if you are staying in a hotel or an Airbnb, they are not going to be happy if you leave the white sheets there in a disgusting state because of your tan. So always bring black bed sheets and put them on the bed before you get into it. Super important, right? You do not want to get slapped with a huge fucking bill because you have absolutely ruined all of their stuff and it will sink through. So bring some black bed sheets. I actually have like a black, it's in my house at home, so I won't be able to get it, but it's like a black, it's almost like a sleeping bag. So if I might get my mom to see if she can send it to me. But just make sure you have black bed sheets. And I also have a black pillowcase. So if you buy a set of black bed sheets, it will come with a pillowcase, but I like it. I always sleep with silk pillowcases because, you know, we care for our skin and we care for our hair. So black pillowcase as well. Okay, so next thing I have is a black towel. Again, if you're showering yourself, getting all of your tan off and then drying yourself, there's still going to be tan on your skin. If they have white towels in the Airbnb or the hotel, they still ain't going to be happy with you. So just bring a black towel, and I will also probably bring this backstage just to lie down on. So I'll just like leave it. Like you could bring a blanket. I'm not arsed packing a blanket, so just have a big black fluffy towel. Again, there's a theme here. Get black shit. Okay, so next up I will chat through backstage bits that I'm bringing. So first off, I just have a silk black robe. It's just plain. I just got this. I think I got it from the Shoe Fairy when I was ordering my new shoes. You can get ones. I did have one before that had like my name and stuff on it, but it's at my house at home, so I don't have it here. And then what else? Okay, so obviously jewelry. So I have a couple of, I have 3 pairs of earrings, like 4 rings, and then 4 bracelets. I get all my jewelry from Compact. I have done like a little haul of the jewelry that I have before, but I always think it's nice to have a few options. And also, if things break, it's always better to have a spare just in case. So you want to make sure you have all of your jewelry packed. Obviously, I'm going to black and white out this clip, but you also want to make sure that you do have your bikinis, okay? Now, obviously, bikinis are fucking expensive, so I know most people probably only have one bikini. If so, just make sure you guard that bikini with your fucking life. If you're traveling across seas, that goes in your carry-on. You do not put that in your check suitcase, because if it gets lost, that's it. No bikini for you. So if you only have one bikini, guard it with your life. Even if you have 2, I don't care if you have 5 bikinis. They're so expensive to guard them with your life. But I have 2 bikinis. Obviously, I have my 2 bikinis from Time to Shine. So they will be coming in my carry-on luggage with me. Again, I know which bikinis I'm going to be wearing at which shows, but I'm still bringing both with me in case anything happens, right? You don't know. And I've heard too many times of girls like connectors randomly break backstage or a strap breaks. Worst fucking nightmare. So having a spare bikini, if you can, is amazing. And if you don't have a spare bikini, just make sure you are looking after it. And I would also recommend having things to repair it. So luckily, Nat is a legend, and she gives you stuff. So basically, she has given me, for each of the bikinis, like extra stones, and then like a little thing to sew it, basically. There is also a rhinestone glue in here as well in case anything breaks. And something that you could also have, which will help, is, and I have these, is like body tape. So if something does happen to your bikini, you can actually use body tape to like tape it back together. It's not the exact same as stitching it back together, but it's still helpful to have. I also recommend having body tape depending on your bikini. I actually don't think I'm going to use this on stage day because of the connectors I have. Like, they're just rhinestones, so they actually just stick to me. But I know when I competed in figure before and I had the kind of bigger straps, I would actually tape my suit to me. But bikinis, that's obviously really important. And like I said, if you have 2, bring both and just keep them super fucking safe, and have a little like backstage bikini repair kit, like a sewing kit or something like that, just in case anything does go wrong. I also have obviously my posing suit just for like check-ins and stuff in the days before, because once that kind of top coat of tan goes on, I probably won't put on the real bikini until it's showtime. I'm not doing, by the way, I probably should have like organized my bag and then done this in like categories, but I don't care. Shoes, obviously super important. These are my Shoe Fairy Olympians. These are obviously the ones that are like bedazzled. So these are the ones I'm going to wear on stage. But I also have my spare heels, which are like my posing heels. So these are again the Shoe Fairy Olympians. I've just had these for a while. Now the straps did break on both of these, but I actually bought spare straps. I would probably recommend having these in your bag just in case, but they have actually come in really, really handy. But again, if I'm backstage and randomly one of my shoe breaks, I have a spare pair. Always helpful. Always have a spare. If you can have a spare, have a spare. Okay, next up for backstage, pump up bands. So I have basically 3 glute bands, because obviously I'm doing wellness, so I don't, also guys, if anybody here, if anybody's watching is like a wellness athlete, I would love your advice for like pumping up Backstage, because I've competed in figure before, and when you compete in figure, they're like, it's kind of an unwritten rule, like you don't pump your legs because you lose definition. But I assume for well, I mean, I have to pump, so am I just doing a shit ton of kickbacks? If anybody has like advice of how they pump up Backstage, I would really appreciate it. But I have those, and then I also have like these kind of like long resistance bands to do the most bare minimum upper body pump, which really won't be a lot, but this kind of comes with like handles and straps. Again, I just typed in Amazon resistance band sets, but always bring stuff with you, because most shows don't have things backstage. Like some shows are amazing and they'll have like a fucking, basically like a whole gym backstage, but a lot of shows don't, so you don't want to rely on that. Next things in terms of skin, so I have Bikini Bite. I just kind of bought this because I was like, oh, I might as well have it. This is basically, it's like a roll-on body glue, so you can just like roll this onto your skin, stick your bikini to it. I personally prefer the tape, but again, it's like having it just for handiness sake. And then I also have, where did my Show Shine go? Oh, Show Shine. So this is glaze. Now, if you pay for tan, they will glaze you, right? They should do. However, sometimes they glaze you early or they don't glaze you enough. So I would rather have my own glaze so that just before I go on stage, I can just spritz a little bit extra on me, because it does make a difference. If you glaze too early and then you pump up and you sweat, that glaze is going to come off, and then you're not going to look as like shiny on stage, and you want to look like a shiny disco ball. And then I also have 2 mini mitts. So these are just like little mini bronzing mitts. So whoever's with me, which realistically it's going to be Christian, he can just backstage spray me with the Show Shine and then just dab me with these. I mean, that's going to fit on like one of his fingers. But anyway, I think I got these free. I think Compact sent them to me with an order. So that's why I have them. And then one of the most important things for show weekend for my ladies, we have the sheetie. So I'll explain in case anyone doesn't know why I have this. So when you get your tan done, right, and you're covered in really, really dark tan, you will start to realize how often pee slips down your leg. See, you don't realize it normally because it doesn't leave a trace. Oh, but then you have tan on, and now suddenly you see it does be going everywhere. And I know every single time I've got my tan done for stage, I have ended up with like a big streak. And I'm always trying to be so careful, and still it happens. Now, it's never a big deal, and the tanners will always fix it. But if you can avoid it, why not? So that is where the Shiwi comes in. So you, as soon as you have your tan on, this is what you use to pee. So I always recommend that you have one of those. Oh, the things we do in bodybuilding. I have black sliders. Again, you don't want to put socks on or shoes on once you have your tan on. So sliders is just what you wear basically all day until you put your heels on. And then, okay, now it's more so stuff for like getting ready. So obviously I'm doing my own makeup. So I have all of my makeup here with me. I've gone through and packed everything that I need in terms of skin, like the darker makeup that I have, all my bits and pieces. So it is all here and it is all ready to go. And then the 2 palettes that I'm bringing with me are the James Charles Morphe one. I've had this for fucking ages, and it's got all of your basics, all of your neutrals, and then also the Jaclyn Hill palette as well from Morphe. Again, like show day makeup, it's going to generally be neutral, kind of smoky. It doesn't need to be anything kind of more crazy than that. I have a few like shimmers and stuff for my eyes, but I kind of have an idea. Oh, I have an idea of how I want my makeup to look, so I'm gonna roll with that. And then I also have my makeup brushes all in here. I have kind of cleaned these. I need to clean more of them. I have like makeup brush cleaner in there, which I will probably do that when I'm actually like the day before the show when I have nothing to do. I'll just clean all my makeup brushes. Hair then. I have my hair curler. I will be curling my hair. Obviously I will have a hairbrush. I just haven't packed that yet. Another thing that I have for backstage is a fan. So it can get kind of hot backstage. So I have one of these. Again, Amazon handheld fan. It was really cheap. But yeah, if you're like sweating backstage, like some of the shows I'm doing, some of the shows I'm doing are in hot countries and I don't want to get roasted. I also have my Strom Peak Max. I'll be using this while I peak. I'll cover what this is and how it works during my peak week vlogs, but I just have it packed and ready to go. And then just a few like, oh, well, actually, sorry, makeup wise, I obviously have a mirror. Because again, if you're staying in a hotel or whatever, you don't know what they're gonna have. So I just got one of these mirrors on Amazon. It is one that plugs in and it like lights up. So if I need extra light, I have it. And then, yeah, so when it comes to like show day and just like fun things or just like even beforehand. So I have a little Instax camera. So I'm bringing this with me just so I can like take cute pictures. We have like videographers and photographers coming, but there's something about like these little things that's just so cute. So I'm excited to get some cute pictures with that. And then the last thing that I've packed is my Nintendo Switch. So guys, okay, so if you've never competed before in bodybuilding, you might not realize it, but show day itself can be so fucking boring, and especially one day out and 2 days out, because if you've been on prep, right, you've been doing cardio, doing steps, training, dieting, pushing, and then the last day or two, you just have to rest, right? Okay, yeah, you might have registration, you might have your tan appointment, but aside from that, you're just sitting down and maybe eating, and it can be really fucking boring. And that's really tough when you're someone like me who always needs to be stimulated. And also if you're, again, I'm a wellness girly, I know for a fact I won't be on stage until late some days, like 7, 8 p.m. sometimes. That is going to kill me. So all day I just have time to kill. So I'm bringing my Nintendo Switch. I've got some different games. I've got Animal Crossing, I've got Spyro, I've got Mario Kart on the Switch. I just want to have something there with me to like occupy my mind. I'll probably watch like Netflix and stuff like that. Is there a Bridgerton season coming out? Or I know something is coming out in the next week or two. I'm also still watching Pretty Little Liars, but it is a lot of like sitting down, chilling, watching stuff, but the Nintendo Switch will just be something nice to have. So that is pretty much it, guys. That is basically everything that I've packed for stage so far. Obviously you're gonna have other stuff like food, supplements. Like I haven't packed like all of my health supplements and all of my non-health extracurricular supplements yet, but those will be going in the bag. But in general, that's kind of a rundown of like everything that you'll need for your bodybuilding shows and a general rundown of how to prep your skin. So I hope you found this helpful. I don't know. I just thought it would be kind of cool to sit down and like go through all of this stuff and like pack my show day bag with me and stuff like that. Obviously not my show day bag. The small one's my show day bag. On show day, I won't be bringing all this shit with me. Like I'll bring some of my makeup that I need. I'll bring like the fan, the bikinis, the shoes, everything like that. But I can always show you guys exactly what goes in my bag when I'm actually doing my show day. But that's everything. Like if you're traveling for an international show, that and then your food, right? So again, things that I'll probably pack. What will I pack? Like my Nutri Ninja, like probably won't be drinking shakes before my show, to be fair, but things like creatine, protein, that sort of stuff, and food. Like, yes, I will be packing all that, but again, when I'm doing my peak week vlogs and stuff, I'll show you guys them, all right? But anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that it was somewhat entertaining. Of course, as always, don't forget to give it a like, give it a comment, subscribe, and if you're ever interested in coaching with Team Excellence Coaching, links are always down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.